Hey guys, what's good? Welcome to the Deal to Heal with E. James podcast. I'm your host, Ernest James, and I'm just trying to do something a little bit different this time. On this episode, just starting off by talking to you guys a little bit. Make sure you guys go and subscribe to our podcast while you're listening. Make sure you also hit that like bell, whether you're on YouTube or whether you're on your podcast listening platform. Make sure you guys do that. Make sure also you guys go to the descriptions and look in the description. We have a lot of great information that's in the description of our podcast. And I want to make sure that you guys don't miss any of it, right? So make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Make sure you go to the descriptions. You find a lot of information there about our guests, about our podcast, about even some of the other things that we have, and even some things about podcasting. If you want to start your own podcast, there's a lot of information in the description. So make sure that you guys don't miss it. So our guest today, we got a new guest today. He is a father. He is a girl dad. He is a motivational speaker. And I definitely think you guys will get a lot out of this episode. So make sure you guys stay tuned and we're going to get started right now. So I'll see you guys in a minute. Are you looking for inspiration on a daily basis? Then check out Deal to Heal Teas. With our inspirational teas, you're sure to find something to inspire you. That's dealtohealteas.com. Put some inspiration in your situation. Wear inspirational tea and be inspired all day. Let's go to dealtohealteas.com. Again, that's dealtohealteas.com. Hey guys, if you're enjoying this podcast, then I know you'll enjoy the Girl Dad Discussion podcast. I'm your host, Ernest James, and I believe the relationship between a daughter and her father is one of the most important relationships a young lady can have. And therefore, my mission is to promote the daddy-daughter relationship by sharing the voices of girl dads to the world. So check out our podcast on every platform where podcasts can be listened to. And if you want to watch the podcast, check us out on our YouTube channel. Again, that's the Girl Dad Discussions podcast with your host, Ernest James. Welcome to Deal to Heal with E. James podcast. On this podcast, my guest and I will discuss topics and ways to help us to heal in every area of our lives. I believe that everyone can live a life that is happy, healthy, and whole. So I'm on a mission to help people to deal, heal, and fulfill. Deal with your problem, heal from the pain, and fulfill your purpose. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get to it. Hey, welcome to the Deal to Heal with E. James podcast. I am your host, Ernest James, and I believe that everyone can and should live a life that is whole, healed, and healthy. Therefore, I'm on a mission to help people to deal, heal, and fulfill, to deal with your problems, heal from the pain, and fulfill your purpose. Thank you guys once again for tuning in to the Deal to Heal with E. James podcast. If you haven't already, make sure that you listen, like, subscribe, and share our podcast on all of your social media platforms. Also, make sure you guys go and check out our new YouTube channel, which is the Deal to Heal Podcasting Network. On there, you can find several podcasts that we have, and we have more podcasts coming in store. Again, it's the Deal to Heal Podcasting Network. We've turned it into a network because we have more than one podcast now. So make sure you guys go and check that out, right? On that website, on that network page, you can also find our sister podcast, which is the Girl Dad Discussions podcast. On that podcast, I talk to other girl dads like myself, and sometimes even daughters about the relationship between the dad and the daughter. Right. So we're having Girl Dad Discussions podcast. Make sure you guys go check that out on YouTube and also on your podcast listening platforms. Also there, again, you will find our podcast, the Deal to Heal with E. James podcast, which you are currently listening to, was be there already, as well as some other podcasts that we have on our network channel. Also, our product of the week. As you guys know, we are a self-sustained podcast, and the way that we stay on the air is by bringing you amazing products for you to purchase. So our product of the week for this week is our purpose journal, as well as our purpose planner, because I believe that we should journal in order to keep track of where we've been in life and where we are, as well as plan for our future. So you guys can get your copy of our purpose journal and excuse me, and our purpose planner from Amazon. They both are available on Amazon. The links is in the description. Make sure you guys go check out our descriptions in our show notes, because we also have amazing information that you can find out more about our guests, about myself, and also just a lot of information. So make sure you guys are also checking out the show notes when you guys are listening to the podcast. All right. So today, just like any other day, we are blessed with a guest, Mr. Sinbad. How you doing?
Yo, how you doing today? It's so great to be here. It's so great to speak to you once again. I'm so happy and so blessed and humbled to be here with you guys.
Yes, 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 yes. So first of all, let me say thank you for being here, because you could have been anywhere else doing anything else, but you're here with me and my listeners, and we definitely appreciate it. So we're gonna jump right in. Sinbad, do me a favor, introduce yourself to my audience and tell us a little bit about who you are and what it is that you do.
All right, awesome. How you guys doing? My name is Joshua Capers, but you guys can call me Sinbad JDP. I am the creator of Sinbad Says. I'm a motivational speaker and a musician. I help people with mindset shifting and training them on how to get back up, not look down, and change their narrative by discovering who they are. And it's just wonderful to be here with you guys. You can follow me on YouTube at Sinbad Says, and just any other platform Sinbad Says.
All right, all right. So one thing that I know already from us talking previously is that you are a girl dad, and that we talked about the Girl Dad Discussions podcast, which actually
Mhm.
you were a guest on the Girl Dad Discussions podcast already. But we're not on the Girl Dad Discussions podcast. However, I always ask every girl that's on that comes on. I always ask them two questions, and I'm gonna ask you these same two questions. What
All
does it
right.
mean for you to be a girl dad? And what is something that your daughter or daughters have taught you?
Hmm. What does it mean to be a girl dad? To be a girl dad, that means to be a priest, a protector, a provider, and it also means to be an example of who she needs to look up to in the world and where she's going to be learning to navigate in the world. So I believe every daughter, a father is one of the best relationships a daughter can have. It's one of the most important relationships that she should have. And if there's anybody that's going to teach her, show her, and love her, and show her what love actually looks like, it will be from her father. And that's everything that I want to be for my daughters. Now, what they're both teaching me, for one, they're both teaching me presence is very important. Quick side note about my daughter. My first daughter, she's 3 years old, and she's a motor mouth, motor mouth, motor mouth, motor mouth, motor mouth. So she always wants to talk from the time she wakes up to the time she puts her head down. Her mouth she's not taking any breaks with talking, okay? And you gotta be able to listen to every single word that she's saying, because you don't want your kids growing up thinking that, oh, dada's not listening to me, so now I have to go to find it elsewhere from someone who might just listen just a little bit, but they can be a bad influence. One thing that my youngest daughter taught me, now she's a newborn, and that is patience and to value sleep. because you got to be extremely patient with them crying. I swear, these babies gonna cry. Okay, anybody that's looking to be a father, please be prepared to train your ears to just to accept the crying and accept the fact that you need to really schedule and plan out how to get some sleep, because I swear there's some nights where sleep is gonna feel a little bit scarce, but at the end of the day, it's all worth it. It's all wonderful, and it's really a great experience. I couldn't have asked for anything better.
All right, all right. I love it. I love it. So, Sinbad, we're gonna jump into we're gonna jump into your story a little bit, right? Because we
Hmm.
know that you are a motivational speaker, and we know that you're on this journey now. But take us back to the younger Sinbad, right? Take us back to who you were and coming up and just growing up, and what was that experience that you had that made you even think about and want to go into the line of work that you in? That made you want to say, you know what, I'm going to be a motivational speaker. I am going to try to help others. So, who were you at, and when you were younger, and what was that thing that happened in your life that was a turning point for you to make you now to take that journey to be a help to others?
Definitely. I would love to jump into it. I like to say my story can go like different type of places on what really inspired me, but I can really say like the tipping point around it was more so just starting around in like 2015, where I'm going on, I was 19 then, gonna go on 20 years old, and I had a dream. Now, before then, my family is musically inclined. So my brother, he was in the Apollo at 5. He won. My mom and dad, they had dreams to make music. When they had us, me and my four brothers, they wanted us to make music. So they would keep having us in music, just singing. My dad and my brother taught me how to rap, taught me how to get me into writing music. But originally at that time, I didn't want to. I wanted to play video games, and then at one point, I wanted to make video games, but I was like, Josh, you're gonna need the money. So I decided that I'm gonna make music to make money to make the video games and such. So I dived into making music, and I just kept getting into like rap a whole lot more because my dad, he's the rapper and my mom's the singer. And so my older brother, he's a excellent singer, so he trained me and my other younger brother to sing. So I just decided to use my talent to just rap and write music. And this is during a time when like music, it was good, but it was starting to like plummet and such. Like if you love hip hop, if you love like you know that the quality of it had dipped down a whole lot. So I was like, I want to make real music. I don't want to be a mumble rapper. I don't want to be someone that's talking about drugs or talking about sex or talking about anything like that. I want to talk about my story and the things that I've been doing, and I want to motivate people while doing that. That was just something that I just felt. At one point, I just started feeling more and more to just start speaking and making videos to encourage people while I'm making music and such, you know. So it just got to a point to where like I just felt in my heart that I want to do that. So that's why in 2018, in 2017, 2018, I started making YouTube video. Started making videos on IGTV, and I called it Sinbad Says, and I wanted to keep on doing that. I wanted to just keep inspiring people right then and there. This was way before I even knew what a motivational speaker was. Like I heard of Eric Thomas, and I seen videos of Eric Thomas because in high school, you know, they would play videos to try to keep us inspired to do stuff and everything. I saw the Succeed as Bad as You Want to Breathe and such, but at the time, I still didn't even realize like what a motivational speaker was. I just saw that there was a person that was trying to encourage people. So I started doing that, and I just started making more videos each and every single day, and I started to just develop more of a passion for it. And I was like, wow, this is something that I want to do. And this was going from 2017 all the way to 2019, then going into 2020 to make it something real, and then eventually turning it into a podcast myself. And I would call it the Sinbad Says podcast. But me, like a lot of other people, I looked down on my life. I was distracted by everything. Me and my dad, we was go butting heads because of the direction he wanted my life to go, the direction I wanted to go, and I this is still me wanting to make music because I wanted to do both simultaneously, but it was just things there with our vision that just didn't mesh, and we already had a rocky relationship then. Like we got into fights, verbal, physical, and things like that made me feel undervalued. And I thought I had to find that in friends. I thought I had to find that by dating people and that wasn't good for me. And even when people wanted to leave, I tried to keep them in my life. I tried to devote my life to other people, and it was at that time I didn't realize I was devaluing myself. I didn't realize that I was looking down on myself until I got back to speaking with my now wife, but at first it was a middle school crush that I met in the eighth grade, and I wanted her so badly, but she didn't want me. So I just continued to keep looking for that validation and such until we got back with each other in 2020 and we started speaking to each other and we started liking each other and hanging out. But I was too busy still putting other people that didn't value me over her, and she was valuing me. So at that point, I didn't realize who valued me and who didn't. So most of the time when during that time it went through a huge string of dealing with an ex that didn't want me but wanted to stay in my life to keep me from getting with my wife, that had other friends that was dealing with my ex, and we was getting into all types of things because I'm a Christian. So during that time I was stepping away from my beliefs, trying to get into a whole lot of other things like new age spirituality, getting into like crystals and meditation, and getting into doing all types of stuff of that nature. And those that turned into a huge roller coaster ride, and it got us to a point to where it practically broke me. I almost lost my wife due to that. We almost broke up because I was still choosing my ex over her, and my wife got pregnant, and we didn't even know that at the time then. So basically what happened was once I realized everything that was going on, I realized I needed to put my head back on my shoulders and such. So I ended up cutting off my ex, I ended up cutting off all my friends and such. I ended up taking a lot of time to myself and just dealing with the fact that I have a lot of pain, I have a lot of suffering, and the things that I dealt with my friends and my ex caused me to fall down. And falling down wasn't like I speak metaphorically on that because it's really just you're not going anywhere in your life. It completely stagnated, and I didn't want anything to do with anything at that point. I didn't want to do anything with my life. I had a huge issues with me and my wife. We was fighting every day. I was causing all the fights. I was still putting other people before her. I was disrespectful. It was just a whole lot of things that was causing me to devalue her and devalue myself when I knew that she was the only one that was valuing me and such. And she was helping me realize that there's people there that is valuing me, because as she's here taking care of another life, and she's trying to, while her body is working on getting another life, I'm making it hard for her, and then her family's making it hard for her, and it's just me realizing that there's somebody staying here by your side, and you've caused a lot of pain, you know. Despite the fact that what me and my dad went through, him and my mom, the rest of my family, they came and they went to show me that, hey, we're all here for you and such, in many different ways. Like when it came to taking care of my daughter when she was born, helping us learn how to take care of our daughter, because like I'm not gonna lie, me and my wife, we started dating for like a month, and within that span of a month, she got pregnant. So we didn't know what exactly we were doing whatsoever and such. So it was just kind of like, oh man, I got to figure a lot of things out. But the very fact that I knew that she was pregnant and my daughter was going to be born, I realized that I need to step up. I need to stop thinking about just me. There's another life that's going to be coming in this world. And despite the relationship me and my dad had and such, my dad taught me and showed me that you have kids your life is not your life anymore. You need to devote
Mhm.
it to something bigger than you. My dad, he didn't have his dad. His dad left. So he made it his mission to never leave. So I decided to make it my mission to never leave, but set a better example than how my dad did, because during those times it was a lot of pain, but he was still teaching us a lot of things. And I wanted to carry that on. I wanted to say, hey, I'm gonna be a dad. I'm gonna be a great husband. I'm going to keep going and moving forward. And me trying to do that, having to go through a long process and such, because even after my daughter was born, of course, I didn't just straight up heal. It didn't happen overnight. It was something that I had to keep realizing what the habits were, what it is that's going on in my mental state, how's my mindset feeling, and what type of person am I seeing and such. Because my wife, she was going to leave me. She actually did leave me at one point. She said she was done. She's tired of it, and this is 3 months, 4 months into my daughter being born, and she said, "We're done. We're just gonna co-parent." And at that moment, that's when I realized I I'm only gonna have one family. I only want one family. I only want one wife, and I want to be the man that deserves that, and the man that's going to treat my family like that they're all that I have. That they're all that I want to. I want to show them a good life. So I started changing how I acted. I started changing how I responded. I started changing the way I thought. Me and my wife, we bought a Bible. We started praying more and such. And then I realized that I just needed to turn back.
Uh-oh, I think we lost them. I think we lost them. Hold on a second. Let's see.
So we bought Bibles. We started praying a whole lot more. We started looking for churches to go to, and we just wanted to devote our lives to something bigger than us. We wanted to give our daughter something to believe in, and I wanted to become a better man than I was then and such. Like even then, I don't even want to say I was a man then. I was being a little boy. I was being a man child and such. I wanted to be a grown man. I wanted to, hey, you don't gotta worry about anything. You ain't gotta like you want to take care of our daughter, do that. You can stay home. You ain't gotta work. I'm gonna work. I'm gonna provide, and then not only just provide just financial and material things, but I want to provide you emotional stability. I want to provide financial security. I want to provide emotional well-being and spiritual health. I want to be the one to be there for my family and show them what a good man is and such. Even though at that time it was hard for me to understand what a good man would be, because I wasn't doing anything good between 2020, 2021, 2022. I was being selfish. I was thinking about myself. I was just thinking about what I can do that's gonna benefit me, whether it's gonna harm someone else or not. And I didn't want to care or listen to anybody else. I just wanted to just do me and think that it's all about me and I know everything. But that during that time period, I realized I didn't know anything at all,
Yeah,
and I needed to know that. So once I actually fully devoted my life back to Christ, then it just started hitting me, coming back to me, and what I wanted to do. It's like I got like a message, a mission that I needed to do to to help people, to help young men that felt like me, that felt lost, that felt betrayed, that fell down. And I wanted people, this is leading into our topic. I wanted to lead people to get back up. So in my videos, I tell everybody at the end of my videos, I always tell people, don't look down, get back up, change your narrative because you need to get back up. And I started doing that in simple steps, practical steps that I use for me to keep on going and to shift my mindset. The first step that I wanted to use was forgiveness, and
mhm,
forgiveness of self for allowing the past to happen, forgiveness of self for the things that I did to hurt other people, to hurt my wife, to hurt anyone else that was around, like my family, like my mom and dad, and them, my brothers, or any other friends that I have hurt. Forgiving the people that harmed me, that caused these things to happen. And because forgiveness, to me, that's the most powerful thing in life, history, and such. When Jesus died for our sins, God forgave us. He did that so God can forgive us. That's a supernatural power. That just like love is supernatural. It's very easy for us to be. It's very easy for us to be vindictive. It's very easy for us to be bitter. It's easy for us to be unforgiving. And it takes a lot of power, a lot of healing to forgive someone else. That's the thing that just taught me that forgiveness is for you. It's not for the other person. So I had to forgive them for those things, whether if it may make me look weak or anything. It strengthened me. It let me know that love is boundless, and isn't forgiving people is giving up the right to hurt someone else for hurting me.
All right.
And
All right. So I want to go back a little bit because you hit on it a little, and then you kind of kept going a little bit. Let's go back to
yeah,
talking about having the courage to get back up after you fall.
yeah.
And so what was kind of the some of the things that helped you be able to kind of get your feet back up under you, after coming through all these changes that you were going through, and realizing, okay, I don't want to lose my family, so I got to get back, to who I need to be as a husband and a father. What were some of those things that you use, and that our listeners can use to kind of get themselves back into the space where they have the courage to, okay, I failed, but let me get back up on my feet.
Okay, well, one of the first things that you need to do is acknowledge the fact that you fell down. You need to understand you fell. You need to know when you fell exactly. What was the tipping point of how you fell, and what were your immediate thoughts on that falling, and how do you feel about it now? And then you need to take accountability for your part in you falling and such. Like, because a lot of times when we get hurt, we fall down, we look for someone else to blame it on. We say, this person hurt me, that person hurt me. Oh, I've been betrayed. Oh, they took my trust. But then you need to realize that there's a part in it that you played, not to like victim blame or say that this is your fault entirely, but no, there are some things in there that you did that you could have prevented, or some things that you've seen or could have saw, but you just kept on going, you know? And a lot of times people take advantage of those things. A lot of times people will find a way to blindside you, and that's what life do. It blindsides us a lot. Most of the time, it's that we the hits that we don't see coming is the things that cause us to fall. So you need to acknowledge the fact that you have fell down at first, and then you move on to to forgiveness and such. Like I said earlier.
Yeah, yeah. And so one of the things that I know that's important, even to be able to get to the space where they're ready to forgive, is to changing of their mindset. And you talked about, even you getting to the point where you had to change your mindset because, again, you realized you was losing, like you was about to lose your family. Your wife was packing up because she was like she was tired of it, and even the situation that you went through with your own father, and finding that space where you guys could come back together. It took some changing of how you were thinking and changing your mindset to even get to that space. So when you're talking to other young men that you try to help, and to get them to change their mindset, what are some of the things that you encourage them to do to kind of help themselves start to change the way they see the world?
So what I like to do is try to shift their perspective on things and such, because the quality of our mindset is dependent on the quality of our thoughts, the quality of our happiness, and the quality of our habits and such. So most of the time, I like to tell people to like just simple steps. Don't look down and look ahead and such. And how you identify that depends on the way that you respond and react to life and such. So if you're saying like if you don't have a sense of purpose or a sense of direction, you don't know what you're doing in your life, you don't know what you want in your life, you're looking down and you're living a life of perpetual you live in life perpetually practically. You just get up and you just do whatever it comes to mind or whatever you feel like doing and not moving with the purpose that you have. So Usually, for example, I would like to tell people to like write down your don't look down moments. What are moments where you fell down? And what can you gather and learn from those? What is a lesson that you can learn out of this so then you can be able to get past this moment? Because we're all going to have look down moments. We're all going to have moments where life is like a heart monitor. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. So you just got to make sure that you're able to take those moments and keep projecting it up. Keep looking forward to where your life is gonna go and where it's taking you. So that's that's basically like the main point is like just the perspective shift, just to get them to stop looking everywhere but ahead. Like
Okay.
if you continue to look ahead, you'll be able to understand your emotions. You'll continue to understand your thought process. You continue to understand what exactly it is that you're doing in your life because because you're only looking down or you're looking ahead in life. That's the way that I see it. There's only one of two directions to look at life, and that's either looking down or looking ahead.
All right, all right. So the last thing I want to talk about before we get out of here, you talked about, you mentioned it in what you were saying as far as, you and your wife buying your Bible, and really starting to study, and really starting to get into your word, and coming back to your faith, because you had got away from it at some point. And so I know that, even faith, and when you're changing your mindset, when you're trying to get back on your feet, and trying to move forward, it plays a big part. So, on your own words, how did faith, and how does faith help you to rebuild, and to regain your footing in your life? And also, how does faith help you to change, to turn around, and then begin to help someone else to find their footing?
Okay, so to have faith is to believe. All right. So faith is the substance of things hoped for and things unseen. So the only way that you can get by in life is if you believe. You have to believe something. Everybody has faith in something. Even those who don't have any faith, they have a faith and belief in something that they're believing in. That's all. That's how all of our worldviews work and such. So keeping my faith and understanding that there is a God that has plans for me, that plans me to prosper, that loves me beyond all measure, and knowing that I'm never alone is why I decide to keep going, why I believe that I can keep on going, why other people can keep on pushing forward if you stay on your purpose, because that is that is the only way to move. That is the only way to go. And having faith in those things and having that hope is what's going to be the only thing that strengthens you and such. So, the Bible says, faith faith comes from hearing and hearing the word of God. So I just like to keep on hearing it and listening to it so then I can just continue to stay so I can continue to stay empowered by it, so I can continue to stay hopeful because things get hard. Things get really hard. At one point, you just start to wonder if there's anything that you can do. But I just know that once you just continue to believe and have faith in God, you're gonna be able to keep on going. You're gonna be able to keep on moving and such. Like I keep thinking about the one verse where it says like He is faithful even in our unfaithfulness, even when angered, He is loving. And I just want to keep believing. If we keep on being faithful, we're gonna move down that path, right back into either moving forward or moving down and such. It's just like a straight and narrow path. Go on your purpose and keep on moving forward. Because anything you do, if you look to the side, if you look to the left, to the right, you're looking down. You're panicking. If you're looking back, you're worried, so you're going down. If you're looking down, you're sad and sorrowful. You don't see anything ahead, so you're looking down. If you keep your head high, you can keep your head high, but that's why I say to look forward, because if you keep your head too high, you got your head in the clouds and you're not going to see what's below, and you could end up falling down. Anything that you're doing inside your life is either going to show you if you're looking up or going down, and you need to be able to see that in all fronts. You just need to think of the way forward. Don't worry about anything else that's around you, because the world can be a whole storm. Your life can be a whole storm, but that storm is just to distract you and scare you. If you continue to look forward, you're gonna be able to find yourself going up, down, up, and you find yourself at the mountaintop. You just gotta allow yourself to enjoy the climb. But first, in order for you to do that, you have to first believe it. Nobody, I don't know anybody that succeeded in anything and they didn't believe it.
Right, right, right. Okay, so Sinbad, first of all, I want to say thank you for being on. Right, thank you for being on. Thank you for sharing your story with us. I want you to have the last word, and I want you to also leave us with a word of advice, word of inspiration, however you feel, and leave us with your social media handles where we can find you and follow you. So I want you to do that. I'll give you a couple seconds to think about that. To my
Mhm.
listeners, thank you guys for once again for tuning in to the Deal to Heal with E. James podcast. And if you've ever thought of having starting your own podcast, then you would need to get your copy of the Start Your Podcast Now ebook. Right. So I wrote the ebook to teach people how to start their own podcast in only 3 steps. I made it fast and simple so that you can get the ebook and have your own podcast up and running in no time at all. So you can get your copy of the Start Your Podcast Now ebook at ebooksbyejames.com. Again, that's ebooksbyejames.com. Also, make sure you guys check out my website. Check us out on our full website, which is the dealhealfulfill.org. Again, it's dealhealfulfill.org, which is our mission to help people to deal, heal, and fulfill. So make sure you go to our website. You can find out more about everything that I have going on, the workshop, speaking engagements, even our merchandise that we have, things that we have available, more about the podcast, everything about what I have going on. Again, is dealhealfulfill.org. You can go there and check it out, and also find out how you can book me to come to be a speaker or to facilitate a workshop at your school or organization. Also, we talked about ebooks by ejames.com, which is where you can find the ebook Start Your Podcast Now. But there are other ebooks also available, including the Core Four, which is the core 4 values that every daughter should get from her father. That ebook is one of the ebooks that we talk about on the Girl Dad Discussions podcast. We discussed that ebook with some of our guests that comes on because I believe it's a valuable resource. So make sure you guys go to ebooksbyejames.com to check out the Core 4. Also, check out the Start Your Podcast Now ebook and check out all the other ebooks that we have that's available there. Again, that's ebooksbyejames.com. Also, go to deal2healtees.com. That's deal, the number 2, healtees.com, which is our inspirational t-shirt line. Put some inspiration in your situation. Wear an inspirational tee and be inspired all day. Again, that's deal, the number 2, healtees.com. Make sure you guys go there and check it out. Last but not least, we talked about forgiveness in this episode. The last couple of years, I've been blessed to be a part of an organization called the Forgiveness Mission. And what we do, we have free virtual workshops every other month, right? Talking about forgiveness, forgiveness of self, forgiveness of others, forgiveness of the world, what it means to forgive. We just talk about everything surrounding forgiveness because forgiveness is so important to our day-to-day lives. So whenever you listen to this podcast, either a workshop is coming up or a workshop just ended. So you can go to forgivenessmission.com to sign up for our next free virtual workshop talking about everything around forgiveness. Or you could just go to Eventbrite and look up the forgiveness workshop sponsored by the Forgiveness Mission in order to get that information. All right. So thank you guys so much. Sinbad, again, thank you so much for being on. Thank you for sharing your story and expertise. I want you to have the last word. So the floor is yours.
All right. Once again, thank you so much for having me. I'm especially humbled to be here and I just love it. The energy is always great. I love everything that you're doing. I do want to say you guys can once again you guys can follow me on all platforms at Sinbad Says. On there, that's where I give daily motivation to help people. Don't look down, get back up, change the narrative. All I gotta say is just continue on your purpose, start to live on purpose, start believing everything that you can do because life is yours for the taking, and everything that you ever want in your life is yours. If you can think it, you can achieve it. And if you believe it, you will succeed at it. So you should go out there and receive it. And you only do that by keep moving forward and don't look down. Remember, in life, you're only moving down or you're moving forward. And I want you guys to continue to keep on moving forward because there's nothing down on the ground for you to see. So keep on going, enjoy that mountain, find yourself on the mountaintop and enjoy the climb while you're doing it. Thank you guys. And do it from your
All
heart and
right.
your inner soul.
All right, we can't end it no better than that. To my listeners, thank you guys once again for tuning in to the Deal to Heal with E. James podcast, where our mission is to help people to deal, heal, and fulfill, to deal with your problems, to heal from the pain, and to fulfill your purpose. Until next time, you guys be blessed. Thanks for listening to the Deal to Heal with E. James podcast. Remember to listen, like, subscribe, and share. This episode has been brought to you by Deal to Heal Teas. Put some inspiration in your situation. Wear an inspirational tea and be inspired all day. Let's go to dealtohealteas.myshopify.com. Remember, our mission is to help you to deal, heal, and fulfill. Deal with your problem, heal from the pain, and fulfill your purpose. Thanks for listening.